Well, hey, we are looking today at Luke 21. Where did we start this thing? 5, verse 5 through 28. It's a long reading, lots of good stuff. End times, stones being torn down, mayhem, dogs and cats living together.
Mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. Check it out.
Leave away, spit on my Lord in every way. Yet I'm still welcome in the arms
Okay.
of the King.
So, to set this up,
I have punched.
it's sort of like Jesus is the ultimate killjoy. They're just enjoying. They're like, look at the pretty buildings, right? But they are
noble stones.
Yes, these incredible stones. The buildings, I imagine, Temple, Jerusalem itself, the city, right? And how does Jesus respond to their observation about the beauty?
Yeah, it's going to get thrown down.
It's
Well, it's not going to be here.
it's temporary,
Destroyed.
guys. It's temporary.
Destroyed.
Yeah,
Destroyed.
it's gonna be torn down.
Yeah.
Right?
If the archaeologists are right, this is right about the time where Herod's temple finally gets completed. Right? So all the scaffolding comes down, everything. So they're marveling at this new structure in Jerusalem.
Yeah,
And Jesus comes along and goes, yeah, it's not going to last.
not for very long.
Not going to last.
Yeah, and so so they they want to know what. I mean, he says that, and what is their response? Okay, so basically, this is going to be not one stone's going to be left atop another, right? And what is their response?
When? Give us a sign.
Yeah, two questions.
Yeah,
When will these things be? And what are the signs when they are about to take place?
yeah, and I think it's important to remember there are two questions.
Two questions.
Because what he goes on to do is he deals with the second question, really, and not the first. The big when question, which is probably the question a lot of our people still want to know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people are still asking.
Yeah.
It hangs out there as that not answered piece of the puzzle.
Right.
The signs part, though, is clearly laid out, and so that's what he starts to unpack, right? And I don't know how you want to do that. I mean, we could just kind of go through it. What does he start to say? What's he kind of laying out for him?
Yeah, I mean, he starts with false teachers, right? False Christ,
Yeah,
Antichrist kind of thing. And
He starts with all of those things that have always been signs of the end is near, right? Wars, rumors of wars. I mean, that's not exactly in here. That's
Sure.
in Matthew. But, all of those calamities where people are like, this has got to be it. It can't get worse than this.
people are
right?
terrified. Right?
And so it's... and even more than that, then you've got false saviors coming along, right? Well, you're right, it can't get worse, just follow me, I'll take care of everything.
Right.
We'll be good, which is the way that, lots of fun
For a
wars.
small nominal
cults
fee, I'll take
happen.
care of everything, right?
That's right. We'll get this worked out. Yeah, and we do, I think throughout this whole section, as far as preaching goes, very easy to point out examples. Right? I mean, false teachers, huge, easy. You can find examples. Those who claim to come in the name of Christ himself, follow me, those kind of things. And then he turns
War and natural disaster and all that kind of stuff.
Well, before he gets there, he gets to them being persecuted, right?
Yeah.
So before all of these things are going to happen, it's going to get worse before it gets worse for the world.
Right.
It's going to get worse for you as followers of Jesus, right? He's talking to his disciples here. So
come along with us.
Yeah, so come along with us, right? We've got the easy road.
That's attractive.
If you need a crutch, come see me.
Yeah. So it is. It's shocking kind of turn, reminding them of the hatred that they're going to face, and there's real ramifications to that. They'll be persecuted. They'll be tried. They'll be betrayed at their most intimate levels of their relationships, right? So your friends, your family, brothers, sisters, right? Your parents. I mean, it's they will betray you. They'll turn you over. And a lot of this, when you're, when it talks about them being brought into the synagogues and then into the prisons, this is what we read about that, Saul is doing to the church, right? When it's scattered and it's underground, it's persecuted. This opposition where they are being pulled out of their homes, betrayed by their own family members. Yeah, he's one of those guys, right?
And we don't feel it here in this country, but it's still a reality of Christianity. Sure. For those who live in Muslim countries, or for those who live in China, or for those who live in Russia, communist Russia. Yeah. Right? This has been the reality, which is why we can always say we're in the end times, right? These signs are coming about.
And if the futurists are right about this country, it's coming here too.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, yeah. We've been cushy, but that doesn't mean it'll stay that way.
Right.
So.
And part of it here is I wonder if that paragraph 12 through 19 is maybe kind of the points, or maybe a good focus for preaching. In other words, that in the midst of all this, as he's telling about how these things are going to happen to them, the betrayal and that, he goes, and this is a great time to witness, right?
Oh, right, right.
In other words, tell others. Yeah. Like, this is your opportunity. Yeah. Which is shocking. And again, doesn't seem to
practically
fit.
speaking, though, you see that all the time. In the places where the church is the most persecuted, it's growing the most.
Yeah, where it goes underground. It's, it thrives in those ways.
And this is, apologetically, this has always been the greatest argument for things like the validity of the crucifixion and the resurrection, right? These guys went to their deaths. Yeah. And as they're doing that, they're still proclaiming this reality of Christ.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Right? Why would they do that if they're not going to? And so this is a great time for witness, because the witness bears out what is actually true at that point, when you could go anyway, and death is chosen over because some will die.
Some will die. Yeah.
Some of you will die.
Some of you are going to die, but then kind of like the rest of you, you're going to be all right. And he's definitely addressing those gathered around him that are asking these questions. And they're going to go through this, like we said, we see this in the dispersion of as they flee, and the church goes underground, certainly. And what does it mean to be faithful in those times, and what's it look like? And so you get some very practical, kind of like, don't worry about your defense. Like you'll be given the words you need to speak. You don't have to kind of like plan it out. Like you don't kind of plan your own martyrdom. Like, well,
right.
That'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
But some of you will endure.
They'll be happy to do
some
that
will die. Some, be protected. And so I think it's maybe in a sense we could say that in the calamity of the end times, what we say we are in, that doesn't negate the ongoing work of the kingdom. Right. I mean, it thrives right there.
Right.
Man, let's still go. These are great opportunities. Go out, share the good word, or however you want to do it.
Yeah, because your boldness and your witness in the face of great adversity, while sure it won't draw the masses like we would desire, it will make its mark, right? It will make people pay attention to what's going on in the midst of that. Which is why there's the great talk right now of the decline of the church and all of that, and I think part of it is the persecution coming, but part of it is that doesn't mean that we, lower our heads and kind of cower in the corner and go, oh, woe is us because we're so little. Right. No, this is when you stand bold and say, no, we don't care whether it's thick or thin. Yeah. That's not our issue.
Right.
So,
Right.
Nor our fear.
nor our fear.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because I have fewer people sitting in my pews on Sunday morning, that may not actually be the issue.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? And,
Absolutely.
and so
Yep.
it's not our fear.
Nope.
Yeah.
So now he answers the when question though, just for the part of the stones being thrown down,
That
Right.
piece, yeah. So
which
then he-
is
and
yeah.
this
You
has
kind
some
of get
not
the
really
near
a-
far prophecy stuff.
So
yeah.
then he moves in their reality of essentially what's going to happen in 70 AD,
Yep.
right? And he goes right after it, and he speaks about when Jerusalem is surrounded by armies, right? And then you get these woes, and it sounds horrifying.
Yeah, I can't
Right.
imagine.
Although they're
Haven't
still
been there.
surrounded by armies, just saying.
Well, that's because the final verse of this is it'll be that way until everything else happens,
you
right?
know.
So, yeah, no kidding. It's
Yeah, and so you get the woes. I think it hits home. I know, talking to my wife about this before, like that language of the pregnant women or the nursing mothers, you know, like woe to them, because you see like these are super vulnerable and they're in need of that stability, and it's not going to be
it's
there.
not going to be there.
Yeah. And people are going to flee to the mountains or get out. Like you need to get away from this place. It's all coming down.
Yeah.
And terrifying image.
This section is important for us, though, in as well, maybe not from a preaching standpoint, but from an apologetic standpoint. This is the prophecy that we see that Jesus is fulfilled in his saying in 70 AD that makes us look to the rest of these words and trust that there's a reality in the rest of them
because
too.
even you get that there that this is the beginning
Right.
of the end, right? Like it starts here. That's it. But like the when it's all going to be completed, that's not yet.
Yeah.
Right. And so it is that. He spoke about this, and we saw it happen. But he spoke about other things too.
Yeah.
Right. Things that are coming.
We haven't seen them yet.
And which then moves us into that final paragraph of the greater sort of unfolding of these things, right? Where the heavens themselves shake.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, this is the revelation. They will desire the mountains to fall upon them, right? This is that the coming the foundations of the earth being shaken and destroyed because something new is happening.
Yeah. And I'm just so fascinated by that section though, because it doesn't tell them like the Jerusalem thing was basically run, go to the mountains, go wherever.
Yeah.
But this one, when this happens, he says, stand up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And look,
That's a good.
because here I come.
That's a good point.
Here I come.
When-
we win, right?
yeah.
I mean, that's
When
That's
chaos
really
is
good.
finally happening, that's when it's
Yeah.
our chance to be bold and go, yeah,
That's good.
look, all
Good
right.
point, yeah.
That's a very good point.
straighten up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Straighten up. Yep.
Yeah. Stand up and lift your heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this. So let's maybe just talk real bit quick about kind of preaching this. I mean, I think most of us would say a lot of
Current
our
event
people
Sunday.
are like looking. They're looking. Well, you could. You kind of like read current events, like you know. But it's people often are still wondering, like, it can't get much worse, or it doesn't seem like that, right?
Yeah, it can.
And well, it can, but it's also, I think, that reality that these are the end times.
Yeah.
It has been this way for a long time. It's been bad. It is bad. It'll probably get worse, right? All that kind of boils in or piles in there. What else would you kind of maybe?
Yeah, well, I mean, preaching in times is always one of those things of, you know, it seems like you focus on all the dark and the decay and all of that, but I really like kind of your move of, you know, when earthly things happen, like when Jerusalem falls, run to the hills.
Yeah.
But when it all falls apart,
Stand.
be bold, right?
Yeah.
Stand up.
Okay.
And this is kind of that, you know, if you wanted to bring that in, then this is the armor from Ephesians chapter 6, right? And when everything else stand firm.
Mm-hmm. This
Right,
is Corinthians,
and-
right? Stand up, act like men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And so, to that extent, since people are in essence sane, and they have been for years, but now, it can't get much worse, then stand up, right?
That's
I
a good-
mean,
that could
then
be a
then
good
stand
way to
up.
do it.
If you
Oh, there's
if
your
you
sermon
truly
title,
think
Stand
that,
Up.
if you truly think that, then it's time to stand up.
Yeah.
It's time to puff the chest out a little bit and go forward, because if it's there, then it's drawing near, and there's no point in us
That's
cowering.
actually good news. It's not bad
That's
news.
right.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
king is coming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the gospel move right there,
Right.
right? Isn't it? I mean, all of this, but
Yeah,
right, he's coming in the clouds,
Yeah.
and you can stand because of him.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so if you're cowering in the corner, then we need to talk about that one who is coming in the clouds, because
Right.
you're
Right.
All right. Well, hope that's helpful for you guys. Check us out at crafterpreaching.com. I'm sure will be great articles there as well. And like, subscribe, share us with your friends and colleagues. We'll see you soon. God bless preaching.